Guys, welcome back. Today's video we're going to be looking at how I've wired that 25 amp controller up. We're also going to be looking at the stem and how you tighten that up. Been getting a lot of questions about how to do it. Grab your 4mm Allen key. I've got it on a socket here with your 4mm hex bit. To be honest, I think I'm going to do this an easier way today. These two bolts here, it's easier to take them out and take the core off the stem. Well, you don't even have to really do a lot with these, you just loosen them. Wow, they're tight. So then the handlebars go a bit slack. 5mm for that, I think. Yeah, there we go. Just take that cap out. And then literally all you do is you pull the stem off. I think that's the easier way to do it, if I'm honest. Those 4 screws on the stem can be a bit, those 4 other screws in there can be a bit of a pain in the ass to get out, and you have to take them all the way out as well. So that's a quicker way. 4mm. That's going to be a bit tricky. So these ones you have to be really careful with. See if I can drop that down a bit. There we go. That's out of the way, so everything's clear now. Now be careful with these ones. That came out really easy. So I'm wondering whether I even tightened that down well enough the first time. I need to take this clip that I've done for the throttle and the screen wires. So hopefully this will just, yes, nice, because it's only on with double-sided tape. So quick little tip, don't let this pole drop down when you take that end off, because you'll struggle to get it back out again. But anyway, that's all out now, so all that you need to do, whip that out. Right, so you're going to need 2 of these extension bars that I've linked in some of my previous videos, an 8mm Allen bit to go in the end, and then like I say, you just use an adjustable spanner. So this is my contraption. I'm going to whack this in the end now, inside there. You should just feel it by it. There we go. So what I'll do now is just undo that. Just put my spanner on there because I feel like that's one of the easiest ways to do it. Wow, that's on tight this time. There we go. Now that was in tight, so it looks like the thread lock I put in there last time has done its job really well. Don't get it drop in there. So now we just need to turn the seal on its side. So there we go, that's the bad boy you're looking for. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to clean it up or not. I think I just might stick some more thread lock on, and well, it looks like it was doing its job. Now I don't even know where my red thread lock is, so I might have to just put some blue on there for now, because I don't seem to be able to find it. Right, I can't find it, so this is, even though the bottle's red and it says Loctite, this is blue thread lock. Let's hope it works, because the last red stuff did that work really well. I didn't hardly have any wobble whatsoever, so let's do it. Quite a big bolt. Get some, I'm going to plaster it in thread lock. I'm going to put a big blob there. I know I'm probably using well too much than what I should, but I'd rather this not come back out. Alright. Carefully. You should feel it biting there. I can feel that's biting now. Right, let's get the scooter up on all fours. Let's get that spanner and let's tighten the shit out of this. See, with the spanner it's really easy. As tight as you can. I'll hold the wheel for this in between my feet. And tighten. You don't want it coming undone. Not too much force that you break the bars, but you know, enough. There you go, that's about as far as I'm going to be able to go. Then, there we go. Dropped a good one. Well, not yet, because I've got to put it back together, but you know what I mean. There we go. Kadunk. Kadunk. And kadunk. Just like that. They'll drop in once you've got it lined up. Now, very careful with these. Go through them all. Tighten them up a little bit, one by one. These don't want to be that tight. It can really damage the threads. Yeah, you hear horror stories of these bolts actually shearing straight out, so yeah, don't over tighten them. Yeah, all there. So, handlebars back on now. You can clip that back into place. Because I've never done it that way before. Which means obviously this pole never drops down, but you don't want it to drop all the way down because it's a bit of a pain in the arse to get back out again. So once you take this off and you get the stem off, put that top cap back on, just to stop it going down. Handlebars back on. Now this bit's obviously going to take a bit of alignment out, so yeah, you really want these tight-ish because you don't want the bars to move as you're going down the road. There we go, job done. Tight stem, solid. So you always get tight, the tiniest bit of play, but you know, there's not a lot you can do about that. Right, so now that's done, a lot of people have been asking about how I wired that 25 amp controller up because it's completely different. What you will notice with a lot of these screws, sometimes they can be cross-threaded. You know, you can get tap and die sets, so you can sort that quite easy. I mean, I've only had one, so I've not bothered. But yeah, let's open this up. So, bolts removed. Hey, let's take this cover off. As you can see, I've packed it. This M4 Pro has the 21700, so it's a 13.5 amp hour battery. So it's not very big. Now I've had to shift this battery back because this was taped down. Really aggressive tape. So I've shifted that back. That's been taped back down again, just to give a bit more room here, because if you look, here's the controller. It looks like it needs rejigging around again anyway, so there we go. It looks like a nightmare, doesn't it? It is a nightmare. It really is. These have got their own solder inside them and they heat shrink around the solder joint. So I think for a lot of you guys, I think picking these up would be the best option. So yeah, I would definitely recommend picking these up. It just makes it that little bit easier. Your hall sensors. Which it's all shoehorned in. For the phase wires, the scooter's motor has bullet connectors. Now you can either go and buy the bullet connector bits, or the controllers come with these ring terminal blocks. Now I just soldered some ring terminals on there. Obviously that is how it came out of the motor. So that's motor side, that's controller side, and it was easier for me to change the controller side. If you stick a little sharp object in there, you can take those pins out and swap them to where you want to. It's quite simple to do. If we compare it to the old controller, there's quite a big difference in size. If you look at that, and I mean, even the depth, the length, it's about 30% bigger. That's a 6 MOSFET and that's a 9. So hopefully it'll be able to get you up hills a little bit better and not generating as much heat. A good thing I like about these controllers though is the screen. Really nice screens you can buy. This is the main wiring coming off the stem from the original wires. So that'll be from the display and does all the throttle and everything. This is like a thermal tape. It's about 0.2 millimeters thick. So we're going to build a few layers of this up and we're going to secure our controller. I put the thermal tape on. I probably built up about 10 layers. So we've got about, I don't know, it's about 2 mil thick. What this is going to do, it's going to dissipate some of the controller heat into the metal of the scooter, therefore keeping your controller that little bit cooler. Trying to do as much as you can to keep that heat down to a minimum, especially when you're going up a hill, is the best thing you can really do for it. It stops stuff blowing, it stops MOSFETs overheating, and it's just a good idea. As with all these Chinese scooters, normally the control's just chucked in, so it's just sat there heating up. It's kind of a preventative measure. Alright, so there we go. All packed down nice and tight. I mean, the controller's got pretty much all of its surface area now mated to the deck of the scooter, so yeah, that should keep a lot more cooler now. Get some of this, I think it's either like 10, 15 pound, but you get a hell of a lot on it. I mean, I've already done my G-booster with it. I've got to do my other scooter with it, and now I've done this, and there's still stacks left. So the idea is just to keep the controller cool. The controllers get really hot when they're going uphill. Right, let's button this back up then, I suppose. Right, just before we go, let's have a look at this controller that I took out of there. Let's go through the wires. Obviously your XT60 connector is your power lead, and you've got this one here, that's your display and your throttle. This one here is for your voltmeter and your ignition lock. That is a brake cut off, I believe. That one is another brake cut off. That one is for your lights. These three here are your phase connections for the motor, and then you've got your hall sense for your hall sensors in the motor. Somewhere there's a random negative there which you will need to cut when you remove this controller, but I think it's because of how the wiring is done on the scooter. It's just another negative for the lights. There we go, everything buttoned down nicely. Time for a test ride. Alright guys, I've come out for a little ride. Testing out the stem. Solid. Completely solid. I don't know whether you've seen my first video about the stem on this, but there was really loads of play in that stem. There's nothing now.
If anything, now I'd say it's the small amount of maybe playing the bearing. So it's probably a good chance now to test some of that regen. Just test it a bit, and I want a bit more, so I'm pretty sure it's C13. I've got level 1 at the minute. I'm going to go level 2. Right, we are good to go. Right, there we go. It's working. It's a good place to test this stem. Bear in mind, it's mega windy, so I might be a bit wobbly on this. I had a little wobble earlier. Whoa! Woo! This thing's really good off-road for what it is, and being rear-wheel drive. Yeah, that front suspension's a bit crashy, but it's great. Whoa. Pretty sure if you had enough skill, you could probably wheel it, this thing. I think we're going to get much more than that because I can really feel the wind so bad. Right, this is full throttle and I'm going kind of uphill. 24. I've seen how bad this scooter struggles up this hill before, because it's been in one of my previous videos. But we've got near enough headwind and we're going up this hill and we're still doing 23. Now it gets really steep, so you might see the speed drop quite a bit. 21, 20. It's holding 20. No, 18. It's still so much more faster than it was before. This controls a hell of a lot better. Yeah, it's slowing down, but nowhere near. I think I was probably at the end of this hill in the last video. I was probably about 8 miles an hour. There we go, look. Not quite tightened down enough, you can see it better now. Feel the wind blowing me all over the road. See, this has got just enough speed for you. I think it's now perfect now. It's got the right amount of torque now. That regen's pretty nice. Although I don't feel much difference between setting 1 and 2. There you go, in the hills now. Bit more hilly. So we can see what this thing can do. Might be able to crack 30 down here. see now I've stuck that controller down with thermal tape, so you can get a lot more of that heat push through the deck of the scooter, through the frame of the scooter, so the controllers won't get as hot going uphill. As you can see, it's quite hilly, yeah. Still not, hasn't dropped really below 20 on some of these big hills. This has actually been sitting, I mean, I haven't used the scooter for a good while. I mean, I think I left it at sort of like a storage voltage of about 47 volts. It's about half charge, which is probably about where you want to be if you're storing for sort of like over a week. I think this was just stored for about 2 months. I didn't touch it for about 2 months. I should have got a car behind me. Best to get over, especially on single sort of like carriageway, where you can only get a single car down rather than piss people off. Woo. The wind's really blowing me. Come on, let's get 30 down here. Come on, 30. No, 27. Behind me. You have to check. Probably worth investing in some mirrors. I know it may look a bit spacky, but it will help being able to see what's behind you rather than having to twist your neck 180 degrees. Oh, that regen's nice. I like it. This is a hill. I probably shouldn't have stopped here, but it'll show you how well this pulls up. And I know a lot of this you won't even be able to tell from the video, but this is really steep, this hill. I wouldn't dare do this before not on the other controller. It probably wouldn't get me up. It was enough for around town and stuff like that. Now this is transformed. Now, I'm sorry about the not showing you the wiring well enough. I mean, I wanted to try and show you it the best I could, but I'll be honest, I can't be asked to take it apart, so I'm just basically giving you a written guide, if you like, on how to do it. I think that's the best way for me, because I don't really fancy taking it apart again, because it all works, you know. Proper stinks. Yeah, reach in there. That really helps going down a hill. I don't know whether I dare put it up another setting, to be honest. I think that where I've got it at the minute is enough. It's always mega muddy around here. Last time I took G-Boost down here, it was completely covered. Mode free at the minute. I mean, I should really explore some of these tracks, shouldn't I? Twenty is a nice cruising speed. I like 20. It's about right, and I think that's where the legal limit, but when these are made legal, that's where they should be for e-bikes and scooters. Because 15, you're kind of verging on the issue of sort of like being a danger to people, being too slow on the road, because you literally can't go no faster than that on an e-scooter. I think 20 is about right. Obviously, in an ideal world, we'd like something like America, like near enough 30 miles an hour, but can't see that happening inside out. So yeah, I hope I helped you with the stem anyway. Like I said, if you want to put one of these controllers in, it's a bit more involved. If you want something that's going to plug and play, maybe just get a more powerful scooter. Jesus Christ! The wind! Woo! Woo! Like literally, it's blowing my scooter back. This is how powerful that wind is. Look. Woo! This is why I'm near enough falling off every time. Surprising though, because the M4's doing alright. I didn't think when I got back on this, I was like, fucking hell, I don't remember it being this unstable, but it's literally the wind, it's really bad. So yeah, anyway, I hope that I've helped you with the stem. Like I say, the wiring, do it at your own risk. It can be done, as I've shown you, and I'm no expert. I know a bit, but it can be done quite easily. And I've got it working really well. It's, you've got regen. I was thinking about putting the screen off a bike onto this and maybe buying a full colour for the bike. I think that's probably the route we're going. Just have the screen there in the middle of the scooter. I think that'd be better. do love being out though. I do love these open roads. There's no one around. Quite lucky really, because these roads don't really have anyone on them most of the time, which is why I like to do my videos down there. Woo! Woo! Right guys, I will see you in the next video, which in the next one I'm going to bring my weapon out. Right, see you later guys.